There's a guy here in the chamber called Chris Kaiser, and he's got a lot of partners, but he said, I want to do something special on behalf of businesses, and he formed a whole group around it. They're called the Technology Advocates Group. And this chamber is all about leadership and how you can make a change in society. And you don't have to be an elected official, and you don't have to be a CEO, you don't have to be a business owner, although we have a lot of those. You don't have to be really anybody except for you, who's a good listener, who's willing to collaborate with other people. And that gentleman's name is, I don't even know where he is. Where's Chris Kaiser?
Right next to you.
Oh, he's right next to me. And I think he's got one of those quiet leadership. He's not like all out there bragging about himself every day. So occasionally I have to brag about people like Chris. And you and your wife, I just think, are extraordinary. I think you really just do deep quality work. And now to Steve. I said Bill was one of my favorite guys, but I really meant Steve. I know I'm going to introduce Chris first, but I want you to look at this gentleman, because I'm going to be down on the floor just listening like all of you are. I met him informally at a sister organization, an unaffiliated to the Chamber networking event 3, 4, 5 years ago. How long was it?
3.5 years ago, yeah.
About 3.5 years ago. And he was just a guy, and I'm just a guy, and I'm having a drink, and he's not. And because what he is he's a really smart guy. A guy that I have no idea what he's talking about on any of the time. What he does is he understands how computers work. And he understands how to translate between human beings and computers. And I had no idea he was going to become a client of the Chamber and be such an effective ambassador at having translating between how we can communicate more efficiently in our business if you just understand some things on how they work. And you don't have to understand it like I don't. You just have to hire, and I don't mean hire. He donates his time to you all to understand how the world is changing so rapidly. And I just think it's amazing that you guys think of this kind of idea, to not think about yourselves. And so I'm going to sit down because I'm probably embarrassing you both, because they want it to be all about somebody else. And I just think that's brilliant, gentlemen, and all of your partners. Steve, thank you. It's my dear honor to introduce Chris Kaiser, your host this evening.
So I was talking to John earlier about what I should talk about, and should talk about economic development, partnering, and relationships in the Chamber. And he kind of looked at me, and I looked up to John's leadership, and he kind of said, anything under 7 minutes. No, I'm kidding, totally. That didn't happen. But first, I do want to say some thank yous, though. There's some great resources here at the Chamber. Is that better?
Yeah.
Like you taught me. Thank you. Thanks, Eric. There's some great resources here at the Chamber, and I kind of want to acknowledge some of those people. For example, Allie. Are you here? Thank you. And the reason I want to mention these people is because of our relationship with them. For example, in the Ken Carroll Business Coalition, which we're active with, she's been a great resource and leader in that group. Brian Bartoni, in the back, thank you. Helping out so much with the Renewable Smart Tools. Thank you for your time with that. I'm obviously not used to a microphone, you can tell, so I got to do more karaoke. No, you don't. Honesty hurts. Ken Weibel, the STEM EC, Steve Kessler, very involved in. Help me out, Steve. Come on. Who else? It's funny, you write this on paper and then you stand up here and look at people and your brain does something really strange. Dan Katroskis in the back, thank you. As John mentioned, he's instrumental in helping us with the Technology Advocates Group here at the Chamber. Steve, you're supposed to be helping me with this. What else? Yeah, what other names?
I think that's everyone.
But I just would encourage everybody here to take a look and be aware of the resources that are here at the Chamber. Taryn was very helpful. It was amazing when we were planning to do this event, the time and energy she took and her knowledge. But there's so many resources here at the Chamber. The staff here, very knowledgeable and very willing to give their time and energy. So I just kind of want to thank them for everything they've done to support our business. So please, just once, give it up for them. Secondly, real quick, I just kind of wanted to ask by show of hands, how many people in here are familiar, have met Steve Kessler, or are familiar with Denver DataMan? Woo! Okay. And how many people are familiar with C Squared? How many people know Marcy, myself? Okay, thank you. I just kind of wanted to kind of take a look around and see how many people. It's amazing to see how many friendly faces and how welcoming the chamber feels because of all the relationships we've developed. And I wanted to take just a minute to talk about one of those relationships with Denver DataMan, with C Squared. And about 2 years ago, I heard about this guy named Steve joining the chamber, who was a computer guy. And yeah, ooh, scary.
The villains.
The villains, yeah. And so I said, okay, I gotta check this guy out. And I found out, okay, well, they do computer training. And I thought, wait a minute. We can do computer training. What's this guy doing? But it took a minute, actually several minutes, to sit down with Steve. And through the Technology Advocates group, and through just meeting on one-on-ones, it kind of became very clear to me that this guy knows what he's talking about. He's smart. And then I asked him about his training, and he started explaining, well, yeah, this is what we do. We actually listen to our clients to figure out what they need. We do manuals for them. We do custom training. I thought to myself, I have some clients that could really benefit from what you do. So we talked about that, and we formed a great relationship. So there are several of our clients that have been a great fit for Steve and his business, for training and for websites. And I guess the key lesson I want to kind of just extend to this group here is I would really encourage everybody in this room to seek out opportunities for partnerships. The relationship between C Squared and Denver DataMan has been great. And together, we can do so much more for our clients and for our constituents than either of us could do by ourselves. So I just really encourage everyone to take a look around the room and look for those opportunities to find those partnerships and those relationships. And I think I'm almost to 7 minutes, so I think I'm going to pass it off to Steve, who would like to take some opportunity at this time to introduce the real reason why we're here, our heroes.
Before we get into honoring our heroes, and that is the real reason why we're here tonight, Chris is way too modest. And just want to say that, he told you about what we do, but if you're looking for proactive ways to understand your technology and not wait till something breaks, but a proactive way to be able to really manage your technology tools, that's why C Squared is here to help, and we're really excited to be partnered with them. But tonight, for the second year in a row, we're here to honor 3 local heroic companies, and companies, nonprofits, people who were nominated by you in this room. And so we have 3 winners tonight. We're going to call them up, take a picture, and let you get back to your networking, but we would encourage you to stop by the table. There's some reasons why they won, and we're really honored to have them here tonight. Our first winner is Esti Karo. Is it Carol? Carol. And she started a nonprofit called One Mouth and has been doing great work to be able to help homeless teens in Denver, and we're really honored to be able to give her this award.
I don't think I can jump that high.
Put the award in the front.
Flip it around.
Flip it around. Turn the award around.
Yeah.
It's backwards.
No, we don't know any.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our second winner, who received the most nominations of any single nominated person, as well as being a personal friend of mine, Brian Hart of Frame DRs.
All right, Brian.
For those of you who don't know Brian, Brian's framing shop on Broadway does framing for a lot of major nonprofits locally, and also is one of the most giving people who any of us have ever met in what he does personally as well as through his organization.
There you go.
Just trying to figure out how to frame this.
Oh, no. You gotta look up.
Hold on. Let's try this again.
All right, ready? Ready. You're supposed to be smiling, Brian. That's good.
So
Thank
Steve,
you.
the free framing, just call me later.
Oh, okay, yeah. You got to give it to everybody who nominated you, though. Oh, okay.
Cut it up.
And our third winner, some of you may have been here. It was about a little over a year ago, when the Listen Foundation came here and presented. It was one of the most moving things that I've seen in a long time and in the business community. And they presented with John at the Leadership Forum. And we are really honored to give our third award to Pat Greenway, who is our third recipient and with the Listen Foundation. So thank you.
All right, now we got to take them all over. All right, ready? Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We couldn't have done this on our own. Thank you to everybody who put in a nomination, and thank you to Award and Sign for helping us produce these wonderful awards. And last.